What's up, guys? So today I'm going to walk you through a cool program on the Library of Congress page, and it's called Chronicling America. So what Chronicling America is, it's a online newspaper article database where you can look up any newspaper published from 1789 up to 1922 in the United States. So really it's cool for finding primary sources when doing a diary or a journal, specifically in social studies class. And really, the thing is to keep in mind is I made the mistake earlier of typing in the moon landing, and that happened later on. That happened in 1969, not 1922. So really, that's the one downside, at least for finding these articles. I can walk you through a little bit more of the features of it. But for example, let's look up Abraham Lincoln. And so when you hit go, it's going to take a while depending on what else you're running. And the cool thing is your keywords that you have in the search bar will pop up in any of these newspaper articles. So previously, first of all, backing up, if you want to look up Lincoln, his assassination, you're going to want to scroll all the way down to 1865 because he was assassinated April 14th, 1865. So if you wanted to find newspaper clippings or titles related to that, you're going to want to go back and look for these newspapers. So I think it was just the same thing. So it'll pop up in highlighted red, anything that talks about Lincoln. The thing I was looking at earlier was this piece from the Columbia Phoenix, which is a newspaper article from South Carolina. And this is just talking about, so what's cool is that, when you go through here, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. It's all this cool, and you can read. And it's really just talking about Abraham Lincoln. It was this great calamity of the century, which is really cool. And you can also make the articles PDFs up in the top right here. So that's really cool. And then it'll load, and you can view that as a PDF. You can turn it into a Word document. You can print it. Let's see what else. And then if you want, like I said, this is good for finding more bias, which is something to be aware of when you're looking at newspapers, because depending on where you're at, certain areas in the country will have more bias than others, which is good and bad. So if you're doing like a diary and you have your students put on the role of someone who was on the Titanic, or someone reading the Titanic the day after it was published in 1912, you can have students imagine themselves what it was like what emotions would they be feeling. Would that make them more nervous, more hesitant to explore or ride on cruise liners at the time, because the Titanic was supposed to be the unsinkable ship? So it's a good host for a whole bunch of stuff. And like I said earlier, you can go to these more recent newspapers. So it organizes them A through Z and then 0 through 9, different newspaper titles, all the way from 1690 till present. So the further back you go, the more harder it's going to be, because you're going to find things that maybe aren't relevant to your topic. So that's something to consider when you are using this. They have features where you can ask a librarian for help. You can email them; they'll get back to you, or you can message them and you can chat in a messenger kind of forum. It's really cool, I think, again, to use. So it's just like researching in a library database. So you just want to use your keywords, one or two words. This is for the titles of the newspapers. So depending on what you want to look, it can be very helpful. And that's all. So thank you.